Okay, so let me just make sure. Okay, guys. So I want to talk to you today about ethically stealing business. Okay, and then selling it back to the businesses you're stealing it from. Basically, sounds crazy. I mean, it sounds possibly a bit dodgy as well, but it's ethically doing it. Okay, so there's no dodginess involved in it at all. I just like to use the word stealing because it kind of gets people's attention. But yeah, essentially that's what's happening. And I'm working this way. I've been, in the past, took me a long time to start earning money online. And when I did start earning money online, it was up and it was down and it was up and down and then up and down. It was all kind of all over the place. Like so, even even the money that I was earning, it was kind of like a heartbeat monitor, if you like. Yeah, so it's up and down. 1 week it was up, next week it was nothing. Next week it was up, next week it was nothing. It's kind of like frustrating because you kind of don't know where the next money's coming from. So I've always been looking for a recurring model. Yeah, always been looking for a recurring model. And obviously everyone loves recurring income because once you do it, you can't really then have to do much more for it, and it comes in every month or whatever, every week. And this model is really great for that. You can set things up, you can start earning money off it, and then you can kind of like get recurring off it and just forget about it, and then go on to the next project and start another project up. And that's how you just scale it, month after month after month, just keep scaling it. So I'm going to show you how all this works. First of all, let me just tell you a little bit about myself, just in case you're on here, you don't know about me. But I'm just quickly going to go through this. I know it's like this introductory stuff can be a bit, but I don't want to bore you too much. I'm sure you've been on loads of these webinars. But yeah, straight up, I'm Stace from Birmingham. I'm from London, UK. So I've been working doing this stuff. I'll explain later, but I've been working in Birmingham doing this stuff. So yeah, I'm from London, UK, and been in London for I don't know 5 years or whatever now. And I came here through some of my offline work and met my girl, and yeah, we've been building an empire in London, and working things out really well. So just through, I feel like I'm blessed, from the things that I have in my life at the moment. One of the things is my car. I love my car. It's done me well, and it's just cool to be having a nice, comfortable car to be driving around in, and obviously from the success that I'm having at the moment as well. As I say, my fiance there, very happy together, and we're between us building an online empire, if you like. We've got a little boy here. He's something, the apple of my life, and that he's just such a great kid. And yourself, if you've got kids or you've got nephews or whatever, like right, he's 3 years old, so around about that age, so funny, like the things they do. So a little bit about me, but what is all this making money online about? What is it all about? Because I see so many people failing at this. Yeah, so many people. I don't know any other industry where you come to work, if you like. I mean, I consider this as work. You come to work, and you don't earn any money. It's a struggle to understand how to earn the money. Okay, whether it's products you're buying, whatever it is, I don't know, but to actually get success and start earning money. As I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, I had to have a consistent money as well. A lot of people, I've got a Facebook group. I ask everyone who comes into the Facebook group, how much money have you earned, or do you want to earn? And a lot of the people, it's like a poll in there, and a lot of people say, that they've earned some money online, but nothing consistent or nothing to shout about, really. Like, so big frustration, and I can definitely resonate with that. I've been there myself, and I can really understand the problems with trying this out and trying to make it all happen, trying to make it work. As I say, what other where else can you go and get this kind of failure all the time? Like, it's just crazy. And of course, it's kind of like on the flip side, you've got all these people that are failing in what they're doing, but there's just so much information out there, that it's overwhelming, the amount, and that is one of the problems as well, that there's just so many different ways to make money online. Okay. And thinking about it logically, there's got to be a model there where it's the best model, the easiest route to making the most money, I'd say. Obviously there's a lot of different models out there, but finding one that works for you and it's consistent, can be a challenge. And obviously trust as well, trusting people out there. There's a lot of people out on the internet that are, selling products maybe, and you want to learn off them or follow them or whatever, and you kind of build up this trust. And I see a big thing with trust, and I try and give as much value as I can to guys that follow me and sort of my subscribers, to help them out with whatever it is. If any of you guys are in my Facebook group, you'll know I try and help out as much people as possible with training and stuff like that. And yeah, I realised that there's a lot of bad apples maybe in this game. So you've got to kind of see through that and gain that trust. Incidentally, any questions as well, guys, I will answer any questions you've got at the end of the webinar as well. Yeah, so just drop in your questions into the chat there, and what I'll do is I'll just go back through them at the end, so I won't miss any out. Just drop them all in there if you've got any questions as well. So yeah, like the information overload, there's so many opportunities out there as well. So many opportunities to make money, to succeed. And again, this can be overwhelming, the amount of information and opportunities that are out there. And of course, the push button thing as well. You see this all the time. Make £375,000 in 5 minutes by pushing a button every 5 minutes every day. It's just wears thin, like, do you know what I mean? With hearing it all the time, and it's just I know that majority of people out there have got more about them than to kind of like believe in this stuff, like, and believe that this is actually possible. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing out there, that is a push button opportunity. There's push button that can make you money. If it was, would somebody sell it to you? Let's think about that logically. It's not. Yes, there's software out there that can make life easier. Understand that, but it's just there's not a push button thing out there where you can make £375 a day or dollars a day by pushing a button, for 5 minutes. Would you be pushing that button all day, man, if that was the case? But people. I see people making money. I'm making money myself. Other people that are failing to make money see other people making money. So it's like, you're kind of like that close that you can taste it. Sorry, I'm just having a drink of my tea. It's just that close, man. You can taste it, and it is real. Let me tell you, it is real. It may seem like it's not real or it's a scam or whatever it is, like, but it is real. There's money to be made out here. Okay, and carry on listening, and I want to show you, let you understand what it's all about. And because people do fail, they end up giving up. They end up giving up, and they end up going back to their 9 to 5, or just resigning themselves to the fact that they're gonna be in that 9 to 5 all the time. Personally myself, this is what keeps me going. That I could not work. Even I'll have frustrating days sometimes. I would be constantly frustrated if I was working for somebody in a 9 to 5. I would. And I just can't get that, like, round my head. So yeah, some people just kind of give up and reside themselves that hey, look, 9 to 5, it earns me money, it brings in this much money per month or whatever. Let's just take that easy opportunity. But let me tell you, it is possible. Definitely, most definitely is possible. And I want to show you. You can have that recurring income. Okay, you can have that recurring income. This is what everybody is talking about, recurring income. It's okay, as I say, with a heartbeat monitor where you're having $1,000 days, and then you don't see nothing for the rest of the month or week or whatever. You can have that recurring income where it's constant money coming in. And if it's retirement like you're looking at as well, you can have that money for retirement funds, because if you think about it, a recurring income, you can have that for your retirement, because it's money coming in. You do this work once, and it returns for you every month. And this is the beauty of the internet. This is what I see is massive with the internet, that like you can do something once, and record it or whatever, and then put it out to people over and over and over again. You can build a software and automate a process, and the software can do this for you over and over and over and over again, months and years down the line, and continue to do that. So this is the power of the internet. So, you can have that recurring income. So here is the solution. That's my face there, obviously. Along with many other issues with making money online, what's the number one problem that everyone overlooks? Can anyone guess what the number one problem is? Drop into the chat there. Number one problem that people who have issues with making money online. Any ideas? Drop some details in the chat there. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people saying traffic. Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely. I mean, everybody needs traffic and focus as well. Somebody else saying focus. Yeah, definitely, most definitely focus. Shiny object. Yeah, you've all heard of the shiny object syndrome. Jumping around from a shiny object to a shiny object. Steep learning curve, yeah, very good, yeah. Establishing authority, yeah. Analysis, paralysis, I love that one, yeah. Analysis, paralysis. Procrastination, big time, yeah. Procrastination. Too technical stuff, yeah. I was listening to Mario Brown the other day, actually, and he was saying imperfect action, taking imperfect action. A lot of people think as well that the things have got to be perfect before they can actually put it out to public. But this is one of the massive things I put my success down to is what Mario's saying there is just taking action. Taking that action. And don't think about trying to get things perfect, because at the end of the day it's never gonna be perfect. Like by the time you've got it perfect, things have moved on and you have to change it again. So it's about getting things out there. So that's another big one as well. Overwhelm, yeah. Somebody else saying massive action there as well. Yeah, big time, yeah. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that no one else has said in there is one of the things that I see a lot of as well that no one's really looking for is competition as well, yeah. And what I mean by that is, when you come online and you're maybe you're buying these products, whether it's CPA or like I just released a product not so long ago actually about launch jacking, and people can earn commissions through promoting products that are being launched, and essentially affiliate marketing. And what the thing is with all this is competition. You've got to look at like the competitiveness. If you're doing like CPA or stuff like that as well, there's competition. There's people out there basically that know what they're doing, and obviously people are at different levels. So when you come onto this space, like you're going to you're going to like come up against competition. Okay, so that's one thing. Some people are more experienced than others, basically. So what if I was to tell you that I could show you something where the competition is low, okay, very, very, very low, and the opportunities is high. In fact, it's massively high. Would that sound like a good opportunity to get into? Obviously, competition low, opportunity high. That's like the ultimate thing, really. So let me explain. What's the one thing that businesses always need? Again, drop into the chat there. What do you reckon is the one thing that businesses always, always, always need? They can't run their business without this. Exactly, everyone's getting it. Yeah, business, new business, leads, customers. Someone says money, yeah, money all the time, money. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, customers and leads, they all, come down to money at the end of the day. So yeah, you've hit that on the head. Traffic, traffic obviously equals sales, though, So what I want to talk to you about today is how you can take advantage of local markets. Okay, so what I just said back then was about the competition being really, really low and the opportunity really, really high, which is a huge recipe there for success and to earn money. So let's look at this closely. Yeah, you have a near unlimited supply. Yeah, and I would even go to say you have an unlimited supply, because there's no way that all of this supply that's out there can be completed. You have very low competition in the marketplace. We're talking about local here, yeah, a very low competition and massive amounts of opportunity. So let me just show you this for a minute. Yeah, this is good. It's going to blow your mind, like, yeah. So this is just some, okay, a small proportion. I've got a massive list of different niches, and this is what you're looking at here, basically different niches: camper van hire, camping equipment, cleaning services, chimney sweepers, and these are all local businesses, yeah, that you can that are out there, basically. And this is just a small proportion, of some of the ones I like to look at. Bouncy castle hire, home security, animal daycare, accountants. What else have we got there? Au pairs, guitar lessons, any kind of legal services, landscaping, dog walkers. You can imagine the list can just go on and on and on and on and on. And you can just think for a minute: limousine hire, locksmiths, martial arts schools, massage therapy. The list is massive. You can imagine how many different niches there are out there, local business niches out there, yeah. And I mean, personally myself, I couldn't even think of them all, yeah. But here's, I've got lists of them that I use myself, and here's just some here. I mean, if you can think of any, drop some in the chat there. Just some that are not on here, and that you think that might be lucrative as well. But there's just so many of them. Like, it's just unbelievable the amount of opportunity. This is the opportunity. And now what I want you to do is just think about that for a second, but also now times all of these. Not just what you're seeing here, but everything else you can imagine, all the niches out there that you can imagine, times that by the amount of cities in your area. Okay, wherever you live, I'm in the UK, the amount of cities in your area. If you're in the US, obviously a lot bigger than the UK. And so, if you're in whatever state you're in, think about all the other states as well. If you're in the US, think about all the other states and all the cities in that state. So then times the amount of niches by the amount of areas. Okay, now you're starting to get a picture of how big this is. Now what I want you to do is just think about this again, times the amount of niches by the amount of towns in these cities. Again, now can you get an idea of the amount of opportunity there is out there? Because this stuff can work anywhere. You don't have to live in the area, yeah? You can if you're living in the US, you can do it in the UK. Doesn't matter. Now what I want you to do, yeah, is times that by the amount of keywords that are out there. Okay, this is just carpet cleaning keywords. All of these keywords you're seeing here are all to do with carpet cleaning. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking at the niches, yeah, like the carpet cleaning, for instance. But there's I don't know, thousands, hundreds, probably even millions of niches out there. Times that by the amount of cities, then times it by the amount of towns in them cities, then times all that by the amount of keywords that are out there for each individual niche. It's mind-blowing, yeah, mind-blowing. Billions upon billions upon billions of opportunity out there. This is what I'm saying. The opportunity is high, yeah, and the competition is low. I'll get onto the competition in a minute, but the competition is very, very, very low. So just think about all that for a second, you know. Just want to have a sip of my tea. That's just mind-blowing, you know, the amount of opportunity out there. So I'm going to come on to the competition part in a minute, because the competition is really, really low for all this stuff as well. Okay. And it kind of like, you can kind of work that out anyway, just because of the mass amount of opportunity there is out there. You know, as I say, everybody can't service all of this opportunity. Nobody can service all of this opportunity. There's lots of it out there that hasn't been touched. You know, it's virgin, it hasn't been serviced. So you must have heard of Google Maps, okay? So this is one of the ways, yeah, that you can get in front of businesses. Sorry, you can get in front of customers, so you can then ethically steal their business and then sell it back to them, okay? So Google Maps, you must have heard of it. You know, you go onto Google, type in, you know, where carpet cleaners, London, you know, and because you put a locality on the end of it, Google's going to bring up these map listings for you, you know, because you want to know like where the carpet cleaners are in London. So it's going to bring up these map listings. That's essentially how it works. So I'm going to drop some nuggets here now, yeah, because we can generate leads off Google Maps, okay, and this stuff is free, okay. So this is what Google Maps look like. You know, you go type in something, I think this is plumber in London, and you can see that they give you like a map and then like pins on the map of where all the different listings are. So here's what you need to do, yeah, to make these listings happen, okay. First of all, you need a Google Plus page, okay. Now this can be called, you know, Google Business page, Google Maps listing. There's lots of different ways of describing it, and only because Google keeps changing things, yeah. But essentially, it's like a Google My Listing, I think is the term at the moment, yeah. Google My Listing, My Business Listing, and what you can do is you can create a page like Facebook. You know, so you've got your personal profile on Facebook, and then you can create a page like a fan page. Same kind of thing on Google Plus. You can do that for a business. And what you need to do on this, yeah, to get a chance of being on the in the listings. And incidentally, I tell you, these listings, yeah, they only appear on the first page of Google. Okay, you don't see them on the second, third, fourth, fifth page. They only appear on the first page of Google. So you're getting first page rankings, yeah, on the first page of Google, for people typing in different keywords in different cities, towns, for different niches. So to do this, yeah, you need to fill out the whole of the actual listing itself. Okay, so images are really something that you need to be putting on there. Yeah, you need to make this look like it's a real business basically. And put images on there. Fill out this as much as you can. Okay, links to other social media sites as well. Yeah, and again, this all this stuff here. You may be thinking, where do I get images from? I'll show you all that kind of stuff. Yeah, where you get images from. Obviously, this webinar is only going to be so long, but I want to show you as much of the overall fact of it in this webinar. But links to other social media sites. Social media sites are free to set up. You can do that and link to them, not a problem. Links to your website as well. So having a link off to your website. This is kind of just like building like trust for the page. If you fill all this kind of stuff in, you will build trust with Google. Google like, yeah, this is a real business, yeah. And you can do this all for free as well, yeah. This is a free service that Google put on, and you can get yourself on the first page by doing this, yeah. So you want to verify your listing as well with Google, yeah. So when you fill everything out, Google sends like a postcard out to your address that you've put down as well. And then you get the card, and then there's a PIN number on there. You just verify your listing, just so it's like you're not just creating loads of listings. Again, we show you how to get the actual postcard itself. Sorry, the address where the postcard goes to, but you can use your own house address. Write a profile about your company. So what I'm doing is I'm building up a company, basically, if you want to call it a virtual company or a persona company, that kind of way. So basically these listings I'm doing, they look like a normal company, okay? And the information you put in here, this will be found in the search results, so you can make sure this is optimized with like a keyword, yeah, whatever keyword you want to be shooting for. Let's say carpet cleaners in London, you would be mentioning the word carpet cleaners in London. It's not like, you have to get the keyword density, 5% of all that kind of stuff. You just mention it in there, yeah. It's not about, adding it loads and loads of times and spamming. It's not about that. Put your opening times in there as well, pretty standard stuff, and your contact details as well, yeah. So, this stuff is like pretty easy to do, to be honest, yeah. Also, to get some traction in the search engines as well, yeah, to kind of give yourself a little bit of a push. Okay, once you've filled everything out, you've got your card, you verified the listings, you want to give yourself a little bit of a push, okay, into the search engines. So this is how you can do that. Getting reviews, okay, from your customers, okay. So in fact, this is not going to get reviews from. Okay, third-party sites, yeah. So you can pick up reviews for your listing, yeah, from third-party sites. And I'll show you where to get them from as well. So it looks like basically your virtual company is getting reviewed by people, okay, from all over the your area. Very, very powerful stuff this is, yeah, to get you traction, to get you pushed up into that. Onto this part here where you can actually be seen on the first page of Google. Because just think about this: you're on the first page of Google. People spend a lot of time, money, and effort trying to get on the first page of Google. These businesses down here, this PimlicoPlumbers.com. If you can see that down here, this company has spent a lot of money, probably with different agencies and stuff like that, to do all this kind of work on his site to get him on the first page. We can jump in here, yeah, and we can get in here very, very easily. Getting NAP mentions as well for your page will help you get more exposure and get in front of your ideal clients. This is one of the keys to it as well. NAP mentions. What is NAP? What the hell is NAP? Never heard of it. NAP is number, address, phone number. Sorry, name, address, phone number. Okay, name, address, phone number. So your business name, address, phone number, yeah, needs mentions, okay, to get like credibility for you to get into the actual local search engines, map results, whatever you want to call it, yeah, and essentially on the first page as well. Okay, so NAP mentions. So with this information, yeah, you're looking to knock your competitors off the top spot with this, yeah, and I might be sitting here saying to you, oh yes, you can do this, you can do that, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and all that kind of stuff. But it really is, because essentially what you're doing is you're up against people that are not clued up about this stuff. So I don't know, how many people on this webinar, and should I say, I don't know how many people on this webinar have heard of this information already. Yeah, but I can guarantee you, 99% of small businesses, yeah, do not know this. Okay, they do not know this at all. Yeah, so they won't be able to, understand this unless they go out and pay big bucks for it. Okay, and paying for something you don't understand is very, very, very hard for somebody to do. People are very cautious, to pay for something that they don't understand. And to understand it, you need to go through all this and learn these things, So I can guarantee you that these small businesses don't know about this. Okay, so you can take advantage of this. So I want to show you an example of, basically what we've done here with like a loft conversions company. So I don't know if in the States or whatever, I'm in the UK, but in the States, loft conversions, attics, so you build up a room up inside your attic. So obviously that costs, somewhere in the region of like £15,000, which is, I don't know, 20 odd $1,000 in US money. So you can imagine, getting some of these leads coming in, okay, from people wanting loft conversions. How much do you think these things are going to be worth? If each job, people are spending minimum 15 grand, yeah, pounds, I'm going to say it in dollars actually, 20 odd grand in dollars upwards, how much do you think these leads are worth? A hell of a lot of money. Okay, so we've got this in this example here, obviously number one on the map listing there, and also number one on the organic listing as well for the website as well. So what I want to do, I want to show you, I don't just want to tell you about this stuff, man, I want to show you it. So let me go. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so you should be seeing Google now. You should be seeing Google Chrome. Just let me know that you are before I continue. So just let me know if you can see Google there. Yep. Okay, cool. So as I said, loft conversions, yeah. So loft conversions in Glasgow. So Glasgow is an area. I'll just turn this off as well, just in case you think it's anything to do with the local. My personal results. I'll just turn my personal results off. So you can see here. So loft conversions in Glasgow. Glasgow is a big city in the UK. And what we've done here is we've got this real estate down the side here. Yeah, this here is our business, yeah, our virtual business, if you like, okay, where we're generating leads from this, and this is the map listings that I talked about. So like when I spoke earlier, and I showed you on the slides there about the map listings, they look a little bit different. As I say, Google's always changing things, so they look a little bit different at the moment, but as you can see, this is better because it's only us on here. We've got a prime real estate of this page here. So this is the site here that we created, ranked number one for the term loft conversions in Glasgow. I mean, it ranks for lots of other variations as well. loft conversions in Glasgow, loft conversion, Glasgow, different variations of it in that as well. So, it's not just getting traffic from one keyword, it's getting traffic from a number of different keywords. And let me tell you, we get leads coming in all the time. I want to show you some of them leads here as well. So this is like leads that we're getting coming in. You can see here, there's obviously quite a lot here of leads. These and these are recent leads as well. So some of the dates on here. In fact, this top one here, 8:33 p.m. That's today. Some there yesterday, day before. So these are coming in all the time, and these are just through the actual site itself. So these are leads that are coming in through the actual contact form, if you like. So people are inquiring through the actual website itself. So this is just a half of it, yeah. These leads are just a half of it, and you can see here if I click on some of them, basically they want quotes and stuff like that, basically, so they're all the kind of same kind of thing. They want quotes. Considering a loft conversion, so I'm just randomly clicking on there, loft conversion quotes, so it's just people that basically want quotes. And obviously I don't know how to do loft conversions, so I need to send these leads on to somebody who does. And let's face it, if you're a business and you know how to do loft conversions, would you want these leads? I think so, yeah. Also as well, these are phone numbers. These are people that are phoning us as well, because obviously we've got a phone number on the site as well, and people are calling us. So we redirect that number basically over to a loft conversions business and sell them these leads. Okay, so you can see the dates here. Again, 26. That was yesterday. 26 yesterday again. Yesterday. 23rd. So we're getting regular leads coming in. This is all January as well. Things were a bit slow over the Christmas period, as you can imagine. Nobody really wants to get a loft conversion at Christmas time, but you can see that there's lots of leads coming in here, yeah. And this site, yeah. If I could show you, let me show you here. Let me grab this one here, yeah. I'm going to grab this this web address here, yeah. I'm going to quickly go over to Firefox here, yeah. And I'm just going to drop his website into Majestic, yeah, which basically looks at backlinks of this this site here and shows you what this site is, kind of like the authority of this site. So I just want to show you that they've got 4. Well, I wouldn't even say 4. These two are just very low competitiveness. But these two here, they're all right. They're pretty decent backlinks that they've got. But yet, they're ranking underneath us, yeah, and this is the person who's just underneath us, okay. And 2 decent backlinks is nothing, yeah. What I show you, yeah, and what I'll show you is basically, one of the things is I've got a software where it produces these kind of backlinks for you, okay, and you can create as many as you want, basically, and you can outdo these people because we know what we're doing, okay? So, this is, as I say, this is the kind of stuff that, you're up against. As I said to you, mentioned to you earlier back in the slides there about the amount of opportunity there is out there. Massive amounts of opportunity. Unlimited amounts of keywords in different areas, towns, cities, and then all the different niches you can choose from as well. It's just massive amounts of opportunity. And because there's so much opportunity, you can pick, yeah, some very low competitive stuff, okay? And you can get in there and you can quickly outrank these people very, very quickly, yeah, and get leads coming in and then sell them, okay? Now, I mentioned the word selling there, yeah, but let's face it, we've already discussed, what do people want? What do businesses need? What do they struggle with? New customers. You're not selling these things. People will bite your arm off for new leads. If you're a business and these leads are in your niche, you're going to bite people's arm off for them, okay? And I'll go into that about how you actually quote unquote sell these leads as well, yeah, later on. But what I'm just trying to say is, like, the amount of opportunity is massive and the competition is very, very low. Let's just think about this. These local businesses here, yeah, these local businesses are, if you know anything about businesses, or maybe you've been in a business yourself, these local businesses are doing everything. Okay, they're their own bookkeeper. They're their own training. They do their own training for their staff if they've got any staff. They have to cover for their own staff if they phone in ill. They have to answer the phones. They have to do their own lead generation. They have to do their own website. They have to do all this stuff. It's all down to themselves because they're a small business. Most probably a one-man band, maybe a family business, something like that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, businesses typically like that don't want to spend money on like these like agencies that can do all this kind of stuff to get them more custom, because people don't understand it. And you've got to admit, if you don't understand something, hell, you're not going to be spending a lot of money on it, before you understand it. So it's hard for people to do that, yeah. So what we can do is we can come in here, yeah, and we can easily, look at some of these businesses, yeah, that let's face it, they're on the first page of Google just because they've had their website for so many years and they've accumulated a few backlinks and this and that activity. We can quickly come in there and generate this activity ourselves because we know exactly what we're doing, okay, and overcome these website rankings and get multiple listings like you're seeing here. Google Plus page and website listings. You can get multiple listings here, yeah, and get in front of these searches. Now this one here, I think combined it gets about 350 searches a month. Okay, this keyword here. As I mentioned to you, we're ranking for like loft conversions Glasgow, loft conversion Glasgow, loft conversions in Glasgow. All these different keywords. So I think combined it's about 350 searches. And we're getting about 40 leads a month coming in off this, and selling them for like £30 each. I don't know what that is, dollars, but that's bringing in like £1,200 a month. So just off one, yeah. And as I said to you earlier, it's recurring income as well. You do this once, you set it up, okay, and this will sit there, yeah. I've not had any trouble with the guy I've knocked off the top spot there. Yeah, the guy underneath me here, yeah, this one here we just looked at, his backlinks, yeah. I've had no trouble at all, yeah, with this guy trying to knock me off the top. Whether it's he just doesn't want to or what, I don't know, but he's no trouble at all. And even if he did, we can just go, and build ourselves back up to the top because we know what we're doing. This is the advantage we have. So we've got three things going for us here. We've got advantage over these small businesses because they don't know what they're doing. We do. We've got massive amounts of opportunity out there as well, okay, to go for. You've seen it, the amount of niches, the amount of areas, the amount of keywords for all of them niches is crazy. And then we've got this real low competition as well. So them three things there is a recipe to grow yourself a massive business, and do this. And like I mentioned before, this is not push button stuff like, this is not a get rich quick scheme, where you're going to get rich in a couple of months by pushing buttons and stuff. This is a real online, scalable, sustainable business, that you can get into and start getting massive results for it. So guys, this is something that I've been doing personally myself. Yeah, I'm seeing really great results from it, and it's easily scalable as well, okay, to do this. So as I say, once you've done it once, this is leveraging the power of the internet. Once you've done this once, you can then put that to one side, this project to one side, and then you can go on to the next project and start working on that. And again, you're still getting paid from the first project as well every month. You're selling these leads to these businesses every month. Let me just tell you exactly how what I'm doing with this actually. So with the number that's on top of the website, and let me just say, if you don't know how to build websites, $25 and get your website built very, very cheap, yeah, okay, but it's a decent website, yeah, and we can get you these churned out, not a problem. $25 to get that done. So let's face it. You go to like web design companies and stuff like that, and they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars to get a website completed and stuff like that. Like we get these done at like $25, so not a problem if you don't know how to do websites. So with all this being said, how much value is here? How much value is on this? Is you could put a price on it yourself, but this is essentially a program that you can get yourself into, and it's something that I personally do this every day, so I'm in here myself, in the thick of it, doing this, and what I want to do is invite you into this program, okay, and to work with me closely one-on-one, basically, on these projects, okay. So I know for a fact, this type of program is out there already. Other people are selling this kind of stuff, and they're selling access to this, and the kind of price that they're putting on these things is massive, okay. Now that's not to say that this is not worth it, because it is, okay. $7,000, is what OMG Machines, if you've ever heard of OMG Machines, this is what they charge for this program, okay. And they're basically doing the same kind of thing, which is teaching this kind of local business model, how you can sell leads back to local businesses, and where, as I say, the 7,000 ticket, and I think actually they've just put it up again to $8,000, and it's always rising, because the profits involved in here is massive, and it is worth it, it's definitely worth it. They here's just a screenshot off their website, and what they're saying there. Although this course is somewhat expensive at 7,000 and increasing, always increasing, this is a webinar that they're on. I just took a screenshot off their website, but $7,000, and as I said, it's just moved up to $8,000, but $7,000 is a massive investment for people, and obviously, for people to afford $7,000, it's a big investment, a big thing that they have to sit down and discuss and really contemplate. So it's not something they can go with straight away, but I want to make this kind of stuff accessible to people, because even though let me just see, someone's saying problem with audio. Let me just see if let me just know it. Let me know in the chat there. Someone's saying there's a problem with audio. Other people are saying it's fine. Audio is good. It's good. Okay, I'll continue. So I want to make this accessible to people, because $7,000. Let's face it. You can buy yourself a car with that. But as I say, it's not that it's not worth it, because it is. What you can do with this information is massive, okay. This information is worth millions, okay. You can quite easily scale a business, to millions of dollars within 12 months on this, okay. All the information you need to do that is here, okay. Obviously, it's down to you what time you've got to put in it to make that million in 12 months, but definitely there. I'm not blowing out my ass on this. This is true stuff. So let me show you what's inside. What do you get? First of all, so what you get on this, is you get to work with me, 6 weeks one-on-one coaching with me, okay. So we're going to go and sit down and go through every week on what you're doing, what you're not doing, which way you need to go. This is like a big thing for people, with hey, look, here's all the video training, la la la, and get on with it. That's not what I want to do. I'm limiting this as well to like 10 people as well, yeah, because what I do is I usually bring people in 10 people at a time, so I can work with people, closely, so I can make sure that people get off on the right foot and they understand what they're doing. And then that's where this 6 weeks coaching comes in as well, one-on-one coaching with me. So we're going to plan, your move forward, yeah, on this. Obviously, everything inside the members area there is there for you to get going. But just having that that one-on-one coaching for 6 weeks is, I think it's a big part of it. Like to ensure your success on this as well. So also access to my VIP coaching Facebook group as well. So this is just closed. This is only for the people that are in this kind of this kind of coaching. Basically, I don't want anyone inside this group to be sharing any of this information outside this group, and this is why I've set up this just for my coaching students, basically, because the information inside it is freely shared. So I just don't want it's a closed group, so I don't want everyone to be sharing that kind of information out there. At the end of the day, this is powerful stuff. Yeah, it took me a long time to understand it all, yeah, and to get to the stage that I'm at now. So the actual members area itself, video training in there, this is all step by step over my shoulder. So you're going to see like basically what I'm doing with my sites and how I've ranked them, and how that works. Basically, everything that I'm doing, there's nothing hidden or anything like that in there. It's all step by step over my shoulder. So I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of training where you can see exactly what somebody's doing, what sites they're going to, exactly how they're setting things up. And I just share everything inside there. Also access to my case studies as well. So, as I say, I share everything in there. I'm not, trying to hold anything back, worrying about competition or anything like that. Because let's face it, I've already said to you, there's a lot of opportunity out there. Why would we all be fighting over like a couple of keywords? Like, it's ridiculous. There's billions upon billions upon billions of keywords out there. So, for me to show you what I'm doing, my case studies, it's not a problem, and you get access to that as well. So again, this is over the shoulder stuff, powerful stuff that you can copy as well. Access to all my resources. So I mentioned earlier about I've got a software. One of the main resources there, I've got a software where it basically creates these domains that you can use, and I'll go a little bit more into that if you guys have got any questions about that. But basically, we're using these domains to power these sites, okay, and getting some huge success. And so I have a software that's automated software. You don't basically do anything. It runs on a server in the background, and it just produces these domains for you to pick out whatever you need to move things forward on that. So you get access to that resource. Obviously, all the other resources that I'm using as well, to make everything happen. All the sites that I use, any other special softwares I'm using as well. You're going to get access to all of that. And it's a massive shortcut to be able to get access to that. Is a massive shortcut. Again, a lot of this for me was trial and error and learning bits and bobs here and there. But from what I know now, getting access to that resource is just going to be a huge shortcut. And also, I want to put a guarantee on this as well. Yeah, I can't guarantee you're going to be successful. Yeah, because as you well know, it's down to yourself. Yeah, if you don't put the work in, if you kick stones around, kick tires or whatever, come in there, look at it, scratch your ass and leave, you're not going to succeed. Obviously, that goes without saying about anything online, in life, whatever. What I can guarantee you though is I will work with you, yeah, until you've earned your money back that you paid for this in recurring income. Okay, so as I say, recurring is what we want. This is what I work on all the time. This is what I'm mainly focused on, recurring income. Okay, so once you can get this recurring income, this thing will pay for itself very quickly. Okay, so you can be earning the money back, and listen, you can scale this up as well. Once you've done one project, go on to the next project and do another one, and forget about the other project. Obviously, it's going to be bringing you in recurring income, but you can just move on to the next project and scale, scale, scale. As I say, I'll guarantee, to work with you, to make this happen. Everything is here inside to make this all happen. And, with the 6 weeks one-on-one coaching as well with myself, this is going to accelerate you and put you on the right track. Listen, I don't know if you get any emails from me or anything like that, but one of the emails that I send out every time I put in my signature, that there's like a circle of success that I believe in, which is like basically when you take action, with the right information and you take action, you're going to start to see some success. Okay, and this is where things fall down for a lot of people. When you see success, you will then get excited. You'll get that confidence, and what that excitement and that confidence that you see in these successes, that will allow you to take more action. It will give you the confidence to take more action. You will be laser zone targeted onto taking more action, and then that more action is going to give you the belief, that all of this is possible. Okay. Because let's face it, if you're seeing people fail all around you, you're going to think, hey, look, man, this looks like a scam to me. I'm not sure about this, blah blah blah. But if you're seeing people succeed around you, and you start getting that confidence and believe that this is all possible. That's what I want to do for you. I want to push you into success, okay, and get you some successes so you believe that this stuff's possible, and that's going to allow you to take more action. And that's just going to snowball. This whole circle comes back around again. More action is more success, more belief. It just snowballs around. So, it's a real great thing that that I believe in big time. And I mean, working on this, it's guys, you're gonna learn and you're gonna grow, and you're going to earn. Okay, it's nothing like you've seen with maybe what you've bought in the past, CPA and all this kind of stuff. It's nothing like that. Them kind of things. No disrespect to people who sell them and that, but I don't see that as a sustainable income myself. Where you can build a profitable business off it. And let's face it, if you're trying to earn money online, you essentially are trying to make a business online. You are trying to create a business, but it's just online. That's what it is. It's not a hobby, it's a business that you're trying to create online. Whether you want financial freedom from your job, you want to spend more time at home with your kids, whatever it is, that's what it's about. So, some of these things here, I just pulled this image off Google here, instant cash empire, push button cash sites in just 2 minutes. You must have heard many of these kind of headlines out there, And, as I said at the beginning of this is not push button. Push button is not something that exists for a start. And let's face it, why would you want to chase that and put all your time, money, and effort into a push button flaky model, that let's face it, could fall down or stop working at any given time? You're not in control of it at the end of the day. If it's push button, it's more than likely a software involved. And you're putting all of your eggs in that basket of that software. If that software breaks or something, boom, you just lost everything. So, what I want to talk to you about is building an online empire, and it's very, very doable. And this stuff, it's as I said earlier, the competition is very, very, very low. It is literally, guys, like taking candy from a baby. Seriously, you're you've got to come in there and you're going to swoop in there and you're going to take page one rankings off these guys, who are busy servicing their clients. They're busy working in their business. They're busy working in their business instead of on their business, where you can come in knowing exactly what you're doing and, take them rankings and then start generating a recurring income off them leads. So how much is this all worth to you? I mentioned earlier about OMG, $7,000. That is a crazy amount of money, but it is very much worth it as well. More to the point, not how much is it worth to you, but how much are these leads worth to businesses? Okay. Essentially, this is what it boils down to. How much are these leads worth to these businesses? So I mentioned $7,000, to what the OMG guys are charging, and I just believe it's been up to $8,000 as well. So there's a big price ticket, but the value is there as well. But it's just out of people's reach at that. $5,000. If I dropped it down to $5,000, I consider would probably be out of a lot of people's reach as well. And as I say, I want to make this accessible to people, and try and get this in front of as many people as possible. If I dropped $1,000 off that to $4,000, it would still be a steal at that. To be paying $4,000 for something where you can sell leads to businesses on a recurring basis. I might add a recurring basis, and whilst you're getting paid on that recurring basis, continue building your business. But if I dropped it to $3,000, $2,997, I think that would be a great deal for everybody to get involved in this. So $2,997 is a great price for people to get involved in this. And let's face it, with what we've done with the loft conversion thing, and that's just one project, you can easily pay this back. But what I want to do is I also want to make this even more accessible and just drop another $1,000 off this. And I want to drop it down to $1,997. Again, I'm actually going to be putting this up. I've had it at $1,997 for a while now. And I consider this information and like my time as well, to coach you through this and to hold your hand through this worth a lot more than $1,997. So, consider this the last time I'm going to be doing this at $1,997. I'm definitely going to be putting the price up, and I don't see that I'm going to be getting much resistance from that as well. So, that is the price, $1,997, and this is a one-time investment, okay? So one-time investment, and I'm only putting out, as I say, 10 spots available, so I can just keep the value on this. I can handhold people when they come into here, make sure everyone gets off on the right foot and starts getting that success, that so they can just start building that belief, that this thing works, and then they can start earning that income. Or there is a two-part payment investment, okay, of $1,073.50, okay, so that's two-part payments. So again, making it even more accessible to people, just to try and get the people that are interested in it. I don't want to kind of like alienate a lot of people out of it, so I'm just putting it out there like that, to try and break it down into two-part payments. What I'm also doing as well, is I've kind of been working hard, looking at a deal for people that want to kind of like spread the payments as well. So there's actually PayPal do this. This is not me, and and it's only open to US customers as well. Okay, but they actually do a 6-month interest-free, no payments at all. Okay, get that? 6 months interest-free, no payment. So what that means is basically you do not have to pay anything for 6 months. Okay, that in itself is a very, very crazy way that you can get yourself into this. 6 months you have interest free, to get to obviously pay back the $1,997, that small investment. You've got 6 months to pay that back through implementing this strategy. So essentially, you can get this thing for free, really. Implement what we teach in here, okay, and you can pay this back within 3 months, definitely comfortably within 3 months, so that's another option there, so these are the options here. 1997 one-time investment, 1073, and then let's forget the 50 cents on there as well. Two-part payments. And then there's the PayPal credit thing here as well. So basically, if you go to this URL here, this domain name, veridicalseo.com, VERIDICAL SEO.com. Go to that domain name there, yeah. Type that into your browser. Go over to there, and you can see the 3 different payment plans on there, yeah. And you know, you can get yourself in on this. As I say, the PayPal credit, basically that PayPal credit thing is an instant decision as well. You just fill out a form. In fact, it's not even a form, it's just a few questions, about 3 or 4 questions, I think. You fill that out, you press go, it gives you an instant decision as well, you know, whether you can get that, and then the money's into your PayPal account so you can spend it on that. That, you know, is just something that I've been working on, you know, to try and make this, again, more accessible to people, okay? So, guys, there are the 3, there's the 3 options there. And you know, if you've got any questions at all as well, hit me up in the chat box there. We're more than happy to answer your questions. I'm actually going to go through these questions now and try and answer some of these questions. So type into your browser veridicalseo.com, okay? And as I say, you know, you can get on this hand-holding coaching, yeah, where you get inside and you're going to get members area, okay, with all the videos that you need in there to get going, okay, and start making this a success. You're going to get 6 weeks one-on-one coaching with me, okay? So the 6 weeks one-on-one coaching, you know, we're going to like sit down, make sure you're going down the right path, okay? Taking massive action is great, but if you're taking massive action in the wrong direction, that's not good. So I'm going to make sure we work with you every week, yeah, to make sure that you are moving in the right direction, okay? And you know, implementing this stuff to get success. As I say, you know, success is going to instill that belief in you, and you're going to take more action when you believe this stuff. Okay, so the 6 weeks coaching, you know, the resources inside there as well. You know, I'm going to give you access to all of my resources as well. The software in there as well that basically creates these domains for you as well, so you can use them to gain these rankings. All of this kind of like stuff will be explained in there, you know, in more in depth. But yeah, you know, the value inside here is just crazy, because, as I say, you know, I'm showing you a model here where it's like low competition. Okay, you know, you're up against very, very low competition to get involved in it, and the amount of opportunity is massive. Okay, so you can pick. You don't need to go and pick these competitive niches. Okay, obviously some are more competitive than others, but you don't need to go and do that. You can go and pick these very, very low competitive niches. Yeah, get involved with them, see success very, very quickly. As I say, see that success, you start instilling that belief inside you, you're going to take more action, okay? You're going to see more success. Okay, this is how it works, guys. So, okay, let me see if I can grab some of these. Okay, can I do the PayPal deal from the UK? It's not me who does the PayPal deal, it's PayPal, okay? So it does say it's only available to US customers. You can try it. Unless they've changed it, I think, you know, obviously they will be rolling it out to the UK, but I'm not sure when. The last I heard, it was just the US, but you can try it by all means. But yeah, it's not me who does it; it's PayPal that do it all. Like so, someone saying it doesn't help him in Australia. Sorry, yeah. As I say, I don't do the rules on there. So is there no replay? No, I'm not. What I don't want to do, yeah, is because of like the kind of information I'm sharing on here, you know, I don't really want to put this out and just kind of like mail it out and post it, you know, in here, there, and everywhere. This is kind of like for the people that turned up on here, you know, because, you know, the information in here is, you know, you can do some great things with this. You can start earning some massive amounts of money on this. This is not like, you know, how to earn, you know, $50 a day doing CPA or, you know, all these other kind of courses. This is not a course. This is, you know, this is a business. Okay, so, you know, I'm very cautious about what I do with this information as well. Yeah, so again, everything's locked down inside the members area. Okay, so let me see any of these questions coming in. If you've got any questions, guys, drop it in the chat here. Okay, someone's having a few jokes in here. Okay, somebody's asking about the Google Map listings part. Where do you get the backlinks to build juice to the sites and the listings? Okay, so as I mentioned there, I've got a software that that I will supply. And this thing is constantly churning out domains, yeah, and these are like domains that are basically scraped, okay, and they're then sorted for the metrics. So you can just go in there and you can pick the highest metrics you want, and then like it's kind of like refreshing every day as well. Like, so you get fresh domains in there every day, and you can utilize them. So that's basically where you're going to get the backlinks to build the juice, which is a great question. What if another marketer brings their attention what we're doing? How bad can it get? Not too sure. I mean, a marketer, I'm guessing you're talking about like the local businesses. If another local business brings their attention to what we're doing, I've never had any problem with it at all. And as I say, there is so many different opportunities out there, yeah, that let's face it, yeah. If you're generating leads, yeah, I mean, one of the ways that we sell these leads is the phone number on the actual website. I think I was talking about this earlier actually. The phone number on the website is basically it's on a redirect. So when people call that number, you redirect it to a business that you want to work with. Okay, and the way we do it is we put like what's called a whisper on the phone. Okay, so what happens is when the actual, so let's say you're redirecting it to ABC Plumbers, yeah. When ABC Plumbers answer the phone and go, "Hello, ABC Plumbers," they'll hear a little whisper saying, "This is a call from Stace Ace," yeah. And then the customer will get connected and they'll be like, "Hello, I'm after a plumbers. Can you help me?" So they'll be getting these calls, yeah. What we do is we send these calls to them, okay, and we send these to them for like 4 days, possibly 7 days, so they can get an idea of completely free, okay, so they can get an idea of what the calls are like, you know. And then after them set 4 or 7 days, we'll say, hey, we'll call them up and say, hey, I'm Stace Ace. I'm the one who's just been sending you calls for the past, 7 days. So we send them to businesses they don't even know we're sending them to them, but they know because of this whisper. And they're like, "What's this? What's this person on there? Keep hearing this. This is a call from Stace Ace. What's going on here?" And then obviously when we call them, we explain what we're doing. We just say, "Hey, look, we've got these leads. Would you like to utilize them? Have you made any money off them? How have they been for you? Have you closed any clients on there? Blah blah blah." And basically they've just got a free trial, okay, of what we've got, okay. And there's different ways we use to find the best people that are going to snap your arm off for these leads, okay. Different methods we use that. Very, very easy to do. Now, if you don't like getting on the phone with people, some people don't like calling people and that. Again, we show you a way, yeah, but you don't have to do any of that at all, okay. And this is a very powerful way. You can have somebody do this for you, basically. So basically, you can just concentrate on building your business up and building these leads up as well, building this recurring model up. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. What if other marketers bring to their attention what we're doing? How bad can it get? Yeah, I've never had any issues with this at all. I mean, essentially, what you're doing is you're selling leads to people, and if as long as you're sending them leads and they're a business, they're not gonna tell anybody what's going on. So that's it's not an issue at all we've come across. What did you do to get the address for the Google Maps listing? Okay, so the Google Maps listing is the address, as in Danny. Let me know that. Is it the address to find the page to do a Google Map listing? I mean, if that is the case, just Google it. Is it the web address or is it the address that you use to put in the Google Map listing? Actually, yeah, sorry, I know what you're talking about. You're asking me how did I get the address? Because it's a virtual business. How did I get the address? Okay, great question. There's a number of different ways you can do this. You can actually you can verify it on your own address, and then you can move address. Yeah, I'll show you how to do that. Or you can get like a virtual office and just use a virtual office and then just cancel. As soon as you get a postcard, just cancel. There's loads of different ways you can do it. Not a problem at all. Somebody else asking about a replay. Yes, Google My Business. Okay, these questions I asked earlier. And yeah, this Google My Business as well is, it's like, it's free, man. You know what I mean? You can jump on this, yeah, and start doing this and generating leads, for free, more or less. Okay, so Paul, talking about a lot of garbage out there, on about taking action. I'm just going through the questions. So if you have got any questions, I'll just go back up to the top in a minute after I've gone through all these and just have a look through these questions. Okay. So yeah, how do you get the 3-pack verification for a virtual business in another city? Yeah, so I think I just answered that question. So basically, you're using, I'm using virtual offices. So I'll find a virtual office in whatever city I want to work in, and then I'll get all set up. They'll send a postcard out to the virtual office. They forward it on to me. I get the PIN number. I verify my listing. I cancel my virtual office. Job done. That's one way of doing it. As I say, there's other ways of doing it where you can set it up at your own actual address, and then you can move the PIN. You can kind of like move offices, and that works as well. I'll show you how to do that. Where do we get the phone numbers to post on the websites? You can just rent a phone number for like $5 a month or whatever. It's just cheap. You don't pay anything else apart from just for the actual phone number. Obviously, once you start generating calls, there's a small charge, for like a call, but that all gets offset when you sell the leads, so you don't pay for that until you actually generate leads, which obviously once you generate leads, you're good to go, Call tracking software. Do you provide the call tracking software? So where I get my phone numbers from, you can use like Twilio, whatever you want to call it. Depends what country you're in. I like to use another service, but they all have basically call tracking in there. I think that example I showed you was Twilio, whatever it's called. But yeah, I use for UK stuff, I tend to use like a UK phone number provider, because they can give me like the area codes that I need, within the UK, different area codes for different areas in the UK. They just convert a lot better if you've got the proper area code. I don't want people phoning like 0845 numbers and stuff like that, like, premium rate. So I just try and get a local number. Some say sneaky, yeah. This is it. I mean, there's loads of different ways, Steve, you can do this. And I mean, everything that we do, it's the whole thing is a little bit sneaky. Like if I mean, look, we're just taking the knowledge that we know and we're utilizing it in the best way possible. Like, it's all doable, like, and the beauty of this is which what I keep banging on about is the competition is so low, because these people, they don't want to learn, like, all this kind of stuff. They don't want to understand it. They've got, their days are like 16-hour days working for themselves anyway. They don't want to learn this stuff. I think, to be honest, you would be doing these guys a service, by sending them leads. If you started generating, let's say 100 leads a month, and you sent them leads to a business, that guy's going to be like, yes, I don't have to mess around with trying to employ somebody to do my website, trying to employ somebody to get me up to the top, then I drop down, and then I do this, and then they charge me more money, and then they don't get any results at all, even worse, and then they're still charging you money. All these uncertainties that businesses have to go through every day. You know, it's a rough ride out there for people, like all these uncertainties. And what you're doing with this is just saying, hey, look, I'm going to cut out all of the heartache for you. Yeah, I'm going to cut out all of the risk. Yeah, and I'm going to just say, here you go. I'll direct these phone calls straight to your mobile or straight to your landline, and you can deal with these guys. Yeah, these are guys that want your service. I'm going to send them all to you. How good is that? Yeah, for the business. They don't have to mess around, man. You're taking all the risk out of them for you. Do you understand what I mean? It's very, very good. You know, as I say, people bite your arm off for this service. Yeah, you know, so it's something great to get into. It's a very, very good business model. As I say, because you're sending leads all the time, you know, month after month after month, you can just bill them. You know, let's say every 10 leads, you bill them every time you get 10 leads, or every time you get 50 leads, you bill them, or you can bill them once a month or whatever, once a week. It's up to you. You just bill them. You know, if they stop paying, you just direct them leads to somebody else. You know, I don't see why they would stop paying. I've never had that problem neither. But yeah, it's just you're doing them a service. You know, you're taking the heartache away from somebody. You know, to try and get something done, you know, pay for a service from somebody and they don't know what they're doing, you know. SEO, you know, this is why I moved to this model, because I have my own SEO agency, yeah, but it's so hard to sell SEO to businesses, yeah. And I'll tell you the reason why. You'll go into these businesses, yeah, especially if you're cold calling, yeah. And by the way, selling these leads are not cold calling, okay, because you're like sending them the leads first, so they're very, very warm to you when you mention your name, like, you know, after they've heard it on the whisper. But yeah, you know, this I used to go down the route of like selling, trying to sell SEO to people. Hey, you need SEO on your website. I can get you to the top of Google. Blah 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 blah. All this kind of stuff, and people are like, really, you know. And there still is, but like years ago, it was very, very bad for people cold calling, selling businesses this service, and then not delivering, basically. So they're just ripping them off, really, you know, or ranking them for some keywords that never got any searches, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, when I speak to businesses about selling SEO services, which I don't do now, yeah, but all businesses give a crap about, yeah, is the phone ringing. They don't give a crap if they're at top of Google, page 2 of Google, wherever, you know, whether they've got Facebook pages, traffic on there, whatever. They just care about the phone ringing. So this is why I moved to this model, because, you know, you control a site, yeah, that site's yours, you own it, yeah. You control that site, and then you control where the leads go as well. So you can just say, hey, look, you know, you're in the carpet cleaning niche. I've got, you know, 50 people a month calling me for carpet cleaning. You know, you're a small business. How many jobs can you do a month? Yeah, they probably do, like 30 jobs a month. Well, there you go. You know, that's going to keep you going. Like, they're going to bite your arm off. It's just so easy to sell leads to somebody, as opposed to selling SEO services to somebody. They're going to pay you, you know, a couple of grand a month, and they're not going to see any results for 2 months, and there's no guarantee. You know, and you're trying to get blood out of a stone, basically. People just, it's very, very hard. So that's why I switched to this method here to, you know, to just sell leads basically to people. And yeah, you know, you own the real estate, you know what you're doing with this, and yeah, you know, it's as much as you want to scale up as well. As I say, the opportunity is massive. There's massive amounts of opportunity out there. So you know, as I say, to get into this and start getting going with this, I broke it down, you know, one-time investment to just get going, 1997, or the two-part payments there, 1,073 two-part payments. And as I say, if you're in the US, you know, you can get credit. You can utilize the PayPal credit thing there as well, where essentially you're going to be getting this for free. Okay, you know, you can pay this back in 3 months. You know, that's if you're struggling to understand the stuff and implement it. 3 months you can get on this and pay it back easily, okay, with the PayPal credit thing. with my guidance, you should be earning money on the first month. Okay, you should be implementing what we tell you, and as I say, I'm going to hold your hand. You're going to get weekly hand holding sessions with myself to move you forward on that. And yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't succeed on this. So guys, if you've got any more questions, drop them into the chat for me. Other than that, I think I've said lots of, give you some huge value on this, lots of information on here as well. Hope you've got some value from this. Even if you don't, invest in this today, I hope you've got some value from this webinar. I always try and construct these things so people learn on them as well, and just give massive value. This is what it's all about, and as I say, this is not a push button get rich quick scheme. This is a real sustainable business. So guys, if you're looking for something that you can really sink your teeth into, and really focus on and start earning and building a business. This is a business, start earning and building a business and having something for the future, okay, then this is for you. So guys, I'm going to leave this up a little bit longer, but other than that, if you've got any more questions, okay, Dane says he's doing this already. Yeah, so Dane Robinson's doing this already, so he's utilising it. Fair play to you, man. It is a good model, and works really well. A lot of people are just like blown away with the model because it's number one, it's so easy to do, but it's just a very sustainable model where you can just you can scale up. That's the beauty of this one. You can just scale it up and blow the head off it all. And with the competition, you must know yourself, Dane. With the competition, with the competition, it's just very, very, very low. Okay, so yeah, somebody's saying about a deal about it caught out for me for cash. Chris, as I say, I've tried to break it down as best as possible, but just try and make it accessible for as many people as possible. So yeah, guys, thanks for coming on this call, and I hope to see you in the future, and I hope you got some huge value from this as well, guys. So thanks again, and I will speak to you all soon. Thanks again.